There are 5 stages of burnout. Number 1, the honeymoon phase. You're committed, you feel energized, productive, and optimistic. Number 2, the stress phase. You start noticing that some days are becoming more difficult than others. You feel less optimistic. The stress is affecting your mental, emotional, and physical health. Number 3, the chronic stress phase. You feel stress in areas where you used to feel motivation, almost daily. You experience apathy, chronic exhaustion, and high pressure. Number 4, the burnout phase. You don't feel like yourself at all. Normal life is often not possible. You feel empty, pessimistic towards life, a desire to drop out, isolate from others, and neglect your personal needs. Number 5, the habitual burnout phase. You have burnout syndrome, chronic mental and physical fatigue, chronic sadness, and even depression. Burnout is nature's way of telling you that you're going through the motions and your soul has departed. Sam Keen. I once experienced a time in my athletic career as a gymnast where all of a sudden I completely lost my drive, my enthusiasm, and my motivation to even show up. I was completely exhausted and I didn't know how to fix it. I tried seeking professional help, but I still felt as though there was something wrong with me. I spent many trainings just standing on the beam for the entire hour or crying into my grips for no reason at all. I had no way to communicate my feelings to my coach either, while I just sat there like this floating carcass of a human being. It was like I was empty and broken, and every day just got worse. And when my mother suggested that maybe this was the world's way of telling me that it was my time to quit, I just fell into an even deeper hole of sadness and exhaustion. I refused to believe that this was the end of the road for me, because I knew deep down that fire for gymnastics was still burning. I literally wrote in my journal, "I'm just in marshmallow season right now. All I got to do is find that gas to ignite my passion back to what it used to be. Only problem is, I don't know what this gas is, ... sad face." Interesting analogy, Sarah. One day I sat down with my older sister who was studying sports psychology at the time, and after describing how I was feeling, she immediately suggested that maybe what I was dealing with was athlete burnout. I did some research of my own on the subject, and to my relief, it sounded exactly like what I was dealing with. Athlete burnout can occur due to many different elements, including factors like perfectionism, high expectations, loss of love for the sport, physical exhaustion, excessive time commitments, and injury. In my case, I felt as though my burnout was caused from the emotional stress of upcoming competitions, partnered with the increase in the intensity of my training each practice. I just remember at the time I felt so unlike myself, and it felt like the only way I could find myself again was to finally just stop and let go and give myself the break that I needed. I made the difficult decision to drop out of a meet I was scheduled to leave for only 4 days later. I knew it was the right decision because almost instantly I felt a huge weight lift off my shoulders, and it was like I could finally breathe again. My coach advised me to take a few days off. Once I had my well-deserved break from the high-intensity training and a mental break from the pressure of competition, I was able to reconnect with my why. The reason why I love gymnastics so much, and the reason I kept showing up for myself every day. It was never about how many medals I won. It was simply about having fun doing the sport that I love. When I returned to training, I made the conscious decision that the only person that could pull me out of this rut was myself. Nobody was coming to save me. I couldn't keep waiting for this miracle awakening to just fix me and to fix my gymnastics. I had to take responsibility for my training into my own hands. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude toward what happens to you. And in that, you will be mastering change rather than allowing it to master you. Brian Tracy. In order to be a successful athlete, you need to pace yourself. Understand your limits and know when enough is enough. In this fast-paced world, it's important to recognize when you need a break. It is impossible to grind all day, every day. Studies on burnout syndrome have shown that even after a short period of recovery, athletes will start to see improvement in their performance. If you're experiencing burnout in sport, take it seriously. I encourage you to dig deep and determine the root of the problem, and then take necessary measures so that you can recover and be the best version of yourself emotionally, mentally, and physically. Burnout is what happens when you try to avoid being human for too long. Michael Gungor. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you know somebody who is experiencing burnout, go ahead and share this video with them. Hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace. When I'm feeling